Welcome to Bollywood Recaps. In this video today, I am going to explain an Indian thriller film called Forget Me Not, where a successful entrepreneur is forced into losing his mind. Watch out for spoilers ahead. The episode opens with the protagonist, Ipsit, being approached by a woman he doesn't remember meeting. Introducing herself as Rhea, she goes on to describe an intimate vacation the two spent together in Aurangabad. Ipsit tells her to jog his memory, and she tells him that they spent time together on his 30th birthday in 2017. Ipsit doesn't recognize the woman and is convinced that she's playing a prank on him. However, Rhea knew personal details about him as she mentioned that he was engaged at the time they met. Ipsit gets angry and tells her to leave him alone. As she walks off, she gives Ipsit a call, and Cave Girl pops up on his screen as he looks confused. We then see Ipsit in the hospital with his pregnant wife, who just gave birth to a beautiful daughter. His wife tells him to get his award for being the best entrepreneur instead of staying there at the hospital with her. His entourage of underlings is seen constantly running errands for him, especially his meek assistant Maggie. Ipsit is able to visit the hospital and make major business dealings at the same time. After making the deal, he goes shopping for baby clothes with his assistant. And after that, he goes to the award ceremony where he wins Entrepreneur of the Year award. In his office, Ipsit later meets with an old friend from his college who had recently joined their company and invites him to the party at his house to welcome the newborn baby and celebrate his award. Colleagues and the old college friend Anil come to a party hosted by Ipsit. In private, Ipsit asks his friend if he ever mentioned the caves. Anil remembers and wonders why he is bringing it up. Ipsit does not seem to remember the details of this trip and the hotels he stayed at. Throughout his day, however, he can't shake off the nagging feeling of having forgotten an entire week of his life that he spent in Aurangabad. Things get worse when his partner calls him, telling him he forgot an important meeting. Later on, at the cinemas, Ipsit leaves his newborn baby at the side and forgets to bring her back into the screening. He then panics and finds a woman cradling his baby in the washroom. However, this turns out to be a nightmare and Ipsit's baby is safe. Ipsit tells a professional that he forgets his friends and certain dates. He says that he's losing his mind. The professional says that these might be the signs of an early onset dementia. He storms out and remembers that Rhea mentioned a camera, so he asks his friend to send photos from that camera. He looks through the photos while driving but ends up in a car crash. Ipsit wakes up in the hospital with his wife and friend by his side. He asks his assistant Maggie to come in and talks about the time when they spent his 30th birthday together. Maggie claims they didn't meet on his 30th birthday and talks about the baby they had to abort. She tells him he was in Ajanta, where the caves are. Ipsit gets increasingly irritated and Maggie stops the conversation as it isn't easy for her. However, it is then revealed that his wife was waiting outside and she heard the entire conversation and about Ipsit cheating on her. She isn't in the mood to talk and leaves. It is shown that Ipsit continues to forget things casually, like his apartment number and the building he lives in. It is also shown that he forgets to fill up his car and ends up being stuck in traffic in the middle of the road. Time passes and Ipsit is growing confused. He cannot concentrate in a business meeting, even though he's on course to hit $1 billion for the first time. He approaches Rhea at another table, who is also at a business meeting. He questions her if they had an intimate time together, but she tries to tell him to leave as she's in a meeting. He ends up getting increasingly angry and fighting others. He is then restrained as he cries that he's losing his mind. To jog his memory, Ipsit visits the hotels that Rhea claims they hooked up at, and flashes of memories come back. He then visits the caves, and many more memories return as he remembers how excited he and Rhea were. Suddenly, he starts laughing hysterically and falls to the ground. We then see Ipsit as a committed patient at a mental institution, being spoon-fed by Maggie. As he mumbles gibberish and random words from his childhood, Maggie reveals her sinister plan that resulted in Ipsit's downfall. As revenge for the forced abortion and a number of hurtful actions over the years, Maggie and a number of Ipsit's associates conspired to make him lose his mind. Maggie was initially helped by her sister Rhea, who pretended to know Ipsit. She then recruited the help of his trusty friend Gary, whom Ipsit had promised a partnership at work but had then made into a glorified assistant. The selfish boss's college-time friend Anil, who Ipsit promised a job but also only made into a lowly peon, also agreed to help Maggie, as did the security guard of the building where Ipsit lived. His partner at work, Rahul, also joined the conspiracy after Ipsit belittled him in front of their board of directors. Maggie was also helped by an unnamed man who goes and makes a false reservation under Ipsit's name at a hotel in Aurangabad. Maggie talks about how she didn't mind him and his wife, but when he told her to have an abortion, she was hurt. She wonders why a man would take a woman for baby clothes shopping after asking her to have an abortion. Maggie gives Ipsit his favorite flowers and then leaves him in his wheelchair and closes the door behind him. As it turns out, Maggie's plan to derail Ipsit turned out to be much more effective than she originally planned, as she only wanted to scare Ipsit by making him briefly think that he was losing his most valuable asset, his brain. The end. If you liked this recap, subscribe to this channel for more content.